All right, ascending. Ascending for me, obviously, ascending has different definitions for different people. Ascending could mean getting a new job, you know, maybe working for yourself, getting a better income. It could be spiritual, it could be growing your faith, it could be understanding more about the world and yourself, it could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be based on your face, your hair, your looks. Ascending is just basically making that decision to change yourself from who you are to know that there is better for yourself and kind of take the steps you need to get to where you want to be. Now, obviously it doesn't look it, but summer's coming around really soon, especially here where I'm at, and I have been training for the last 8 months to kind of be cool for this summer. Now, growing up and throughout my lifting journey, I have encountered so many different people that have given me different advice on the types of exercises I should be doing. Even influencers, Alex Eubank, Adam U, they all have kind of different routines for the muscles they train. But locally, I would look up to lifters when I was a beginner, and I would see that, oh, this person's really strong, I want to be strong like them, but they didn't really have a physique that kind of was endearing to me, a physique that kind of spoke to what I wanted to become for myself, spoke to how I kind of wanted to look, spoke to how I kind of wanted to grow myself into the version of Andrew, the version of Mozzie that I wanted to be. And over the last 4 months, I've made incredible progress. And I think being able to build a aesthetic physique, you know, being able to build that kind of anime superhero kind of physique has done so much for me and my confidence. It's done so much for, it kind of differentiates myself from other lifters in the way that they may be stronger, they may lift heavier circles, but at the end of the day, they don't really look. They're not looking like prime David Lade. You know what I mean? And so I just kind of wanted to share with you guys the 3 like aesthetic muscle groups that I've been using that I kind of would prioritize if you want to build an aesthetic physique. We're gonna go through them, but I'm gonna just give you guys the list now. For me, these muscles are kind of often ignored, but I think they really help kind of round out and solidify that kind of physique that you're looking for. For me, it's been shoulders, traps, my abs. It's gonna be shoulders, traps. It's gonna be shoulders, traps, and abs. But I'm gonna just show you guys the whole physique, and we'll kind of go through the things we need to kind of do to get there. So we'll see you in the lab. All right, here we are, guys, in the content room. If you guys have seen any of my other videos before, you kind of know that this is where all the magic happens. This is where I record all my TikToks and stuff. But yeah, you know what? We're just gonna get right into it. Let me clip this. I don't know. We're gonna clip it to the dreads. Is that good? I don't know. But the key to, I'm gonna just hold this. All right, so the key to kind of building an aesthetic physique is obviously going to be different for each person. There's a lot of genetics and stuff involved. There's a lot of different factors like body fat percentage. The last time I got mine measured, I was, I think, about 11% BF, but that was a really long time ago, and I've bulked up a little bit since then. I'm still fairly lean, so I don't think it would be too much higher, but I've definitely put on a lot of weight. Right now, I am currently, let me grab a scale. I am 100, and this morning I'm 177 pounds. dry, so that's pretty good progress so far. But obviously, my goal for anyone who's new, anyone who's following, is to get to 185 pounds dry, and then eventually climb up to 200 lean if that's if that's even naturally possible. But yeah, being able to build kind of like an anime physique. Obviously, you can tell by the gray sweatpants. My inspiration has obviously been like people like Deku, people like Toji. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. The key major muscles that kind of help you build this aesthetic physique are gonna be your shoulders. So there's 3 different heads for the shoulders. There's the front delt, the lateral or side delt, and then this tiny guy, the rear delt. They're all equally important. Maybe front delt not as much to train, but side delt for me would definitely be my most preferred. But to build rounded shoulders, you're going to want to prioritize definitely your rear delts and your side delts, most especially, because that's what's going to give you kind of like a good frame. You know, it's going to make you look a lot larger than you actually may be, or a lot larger than you are now. The exercise I like to do is lateral raises. These days I've been having issues with my wrist, like I'd spoken about in a previous video. So I use the cables now. It's also good for a stretch, I've heard. So those are pretty good. I normally do dumbbells, but you know, it's interchangeable. And then for my front delts, I do a shoulder press. And for my rear delts, I do rear delt flies on the pec deck. I think those have been good. I'm not really too sure, but yeah, the progress I've made this year alone, I'll kind of see if I can put up a picture, a clip of what I looked like beginning of this year. I was about 166 pounds, so I've gained quite a bit in the last 3 months. Still a lot more to go. The next muscle, though, was definitely my traps. So you can't really tell, but training traps kind of elevates your whole kind of frame, because it makes you look a lot bigger. You take up a lot more space from your neck to like your shoulders. Some people don't like to train it because it kind of makes them look a bit like a diamond, and I get that. I think there is such a thing as maybe too big traps. You maybe don't want to look like a bodybuilder. You won't accidentally look like those guys, but it is something I'd maybe consider you guys to consider. I've stopped training traps just because I didn't want my traps started growing like insanely fast, and I didn't want to kind of, you know, over like close the gap between like my neck and my shoulders to kind of close out my frame. Your traps are also located like in the middle of your back right here. These are your traps. So you have like upper traps, your mid traps. You can train these by doing things like shrugs with a Smith for your upper traps, and maybe with some dumbbells or plates if their dumbbells are too heavy. They'll also help grow at your back as well, which I think is really important too. Growing out a good back is, I think, probably one of the most essential things you can do as a lifter. Obviously, posture and stuff goes into play, but that and like just your entire arm, so your bicep, your tricep. Am I showing those right? Your bicep, your tricep, and your forearms, which I unfortunately do not have a lot of. But yeah, your chest is also a very important muscle too. But personally, I think that before I say this, I train my chest a lot because I like how it looks, I like how it feels, I just like chest days. Everyone loves chest days. I don't think having a giant chest is the most important thing to obtain a good physique. There are people with like relatively average sized chest that still have good physiques, but I think it's definitely key. But I think the other muscles will definitely kind of set you apart faster. You could have a smaller chest but broader shoulders, or a smaller chest but, you know, nicer abs. You know what I mean? And still get, like, still look a lot better than maybe other people your age or other people you're training with. What I do for chest, I'd say definitely do consider pec flies. Those have been really good, as long as your form is good. And incline Smith. Lower chest movements I wouldn't really consider, but I do dips. They help with my bench, and they just kind of round out my training for my chest. It's literally exploded, as you guys can probably see. The fibers and everything. It's been really good for me this year. Like, all glory be to God. But yeah, it's been really, I'm really happy with the progress I've been making. Last but not least is your abs. Abs are mostly genetic, but they definitely can be trained. A lot of people are scared of training abs just because they think it's gonna make them grow their waist, and they think it's gonna like ruin the kind of wide taper physique they're going for. Training any muscle is gonna make it grow. That's unavoidable, but the benefits definitely outweigh the drawbacks, and you can still keep a relatively strong wide taper, especially from like behind, if you have a good set of abs, a good set of shoulders, and like a wide back to kind of give yourself that, you know, that wide taper look. So definitely consider those two. Triceps are the most important muscle for me to grow my arms. As you can see, my triceps kind of overtake a lot of my arm under that shoulder there, but my biceps have been growing too. These are what kind of give you like a good look in clothes, all that other jazz. I don't mean to sound pretentious or anything, but yeah, having big arms, especially like in the influencer industry, is gonna make you grow a lot faster as well, because like having big arms is really preferable, I'd say, in the industry. So consider that as well. But anyways, guys, this has been my guide on how I've been building like an aesthetic physique the last couple months. My goals for the next few months are gonna be, since it's summer, I'm gonna try eat a little cleaner, maybe cut sugar, go for more cardio. I'm still gonna be bulking because I'm not where I want to be. I still think there's more Mozzie can give, you know, before I have to start doing something like cutting. But yeah, those are my goals, to post more videos. 225 bench has been completed, so my next goal is gonna be 185 dry. I've hit 185 weight before, coming back from a flu, as I said, so, but 185 dry first thing in the morning, that's gonna be my new weight goal. And yeah, just to grow even stronger. I'm gonna try to set more targets. I'll probably set those in another video, but right now I just can't think. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.